The promise in the rain. The rain fell hard on the steel rooftops of Colony Delta 4, turning the dusty ground into thick mud. Sirens screamed across the ruined colony. Evacuation ships lit the sky like shooting stars. Buildings were on fire, and shadows of alien beasts moved through the smoke. People were running, crying, screaming. Liam was one of them. He was just 16, wearing a too-big coat and holding a small backpack. His parents were already gone, taken in the first wave. All he had now was fear and the promise of escape if he could reach the last shuttle before it lifted. Liam slipped in the mud and hit the ground hard. His side hurt. He tried to get up, but something heavy had fallen nearby, a support beam. It was burning, and it blocked his path. He started crawling under it, but then the beam cracked above him. It was going to fall, and that's when she appeared. Blur of blue and silver moved through the smoke. A figure, tall and elegant, not human. She wore something like armor, but it flowed like cloth. Her skin was pale purple, glowing slightly. Her eyes huge and golden locked on his. She jumped forward, grabbed him by the arm, and pulled him out just before the beam crashed down. Liam gasped, looking up at her. She wasn't like the other aliens he'd seen. She didn't have fangs or weapons, just a soft face, wild black hair, and a strange mark glowing on her forehead. She looked at him for a long second. Then she said softly, "You're safe now." Her voice didn't sound human, but it was beautiful. Liam sat up. Who are you?" She smiled gently, like someone remembering a dream. "You don't know me yet, but one day I'll marry you." Liam's heart skipped. "What?" Before he could say anything else, a loud rumble echoed nearby. She turned. Something called her name in a language Liam didn't understand. The alien girl stood up fast. "I have to go. Wait!" He shouted, reaching for her, but she stepped back into the smoke and disappeared. Liam shouted and ran forward, but she was gone. Gone like she had never been there at all. He stood in the rain, confused and shaking. What just happened? Who was she? Did he imagine it? But then, he looked down and saw a small glowing object lying near his feet. It looked like a pendant. He picked it up. It pulsed once, then dimmed. He kept it. 6 years passed. Liam never forgot that day. He didn't tell anyone, because no one would believe him. A strange alien girl in the middle of chaos who promised to marry him. It sounded crazy, even to him, but every night he took out the pendant and looked at it. It never glowed again. Still, he felt something like the girl was real. Like she was watching from somewhere. Now Liam was 22 and worked as a translator for human-alien peace programs. He had learned many alien languages. Some said he was gifted. But he always said, "I'm just searching for a voice I once heard." One day, while stationed at a border outpost near the Zalari Nebula, he received a new assignment. A high-ranking alien ambassador from a hybrid species was arriving for negotiations. His job was to assist in translation and behavior analysis. Name on the report froze him. Say Lari. He had never heard the name before. But when he read it, his fingers went numb. The sound of it whispered something in his heart. "Salari," he said out loud. It felt familiar. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. He stared at the stars, remembering the rain, the golden eyes, the soft voice. That strange promise, "I'll marry you one day." It couldn't be. It was just a dream, right? The next morning, the alien shuttle arrived. It was unlike any Liam had seen before, sleek, silver, and glowing with deep blue lines. Soldiers in black armor stepped out first, their movements sharp and controlled. Then she stepped out, taller now, wearing full armor. A strange cape flowed behind her. She removed her helmet. Liam's heart nearly stopped. Golden eyes, black hair, the same face, older, stronger, colder. She looked straight at him. Across the platform, he didn't know whether to run or bow or scream. She walked toward him slowly. The soldiers stepped aside. When she stood in front of him, only a breath away, she said in the same soft voice, "I told you I'd marry you one day." But now her smile was gone. Liam stood frozen. The outpost around him was busy soldiers. Moving, translators checking tablets, guards scanning the shuttle, but he saw none of it. His eyes were locked on her. Salari. The alien girl from 6 years ago. Now standing in front of him, but she looked different. Her armor was smooth and silver, shaped like a second skin, with glowing blue lines running across the arms and chest. A crest marked her shoulder, unknown to humans, but clearly a sign of rank. She was taller, stronger. Her face still had the soft features he remembered, but now there was something sharp in her eyes, cold, watchful, like a commander. Liam opened his mouth to speak, but the words didn't come. Salari didn't wait. "Walk with me," she said, her voice calm and firm. Liam followed without thinking. They moved through the outpost, passing curious stares. Other humans looked confused. Some aliens stared with respect. No one stopped her. She walked like someone used to command. They entered a quiet hallway. Salari waved a hand across a panel. The doors behind them sealed shut. Silence. Liam swallowed hard. "It's really you, isn't it?" She turned slowly and looked at him. "You remembered me." "How could I forget?" he said softly. "You saved my life." Salari nodded. "I was not supposed to help you. At that time, I was still in training. Disobeying orders was dangerous, but I couldn't leave you." Liam took a step closer. "Why did you say that? About marrying me?" Salari's face twitched slightly. Not a smile, not a frown. Something in between, because it was a seed. A test. I wanted to know if you were real, if you would remember, if the words would stay. "They did," Liam said. "I thought I was crazy." "You're not," she said, "but this world is." She walked to the window and stared out at the dry red landscape beyond the base. "My body was taken after the war. I was chosen for a hybrid program, genetic blending. Strength, speed, memory, strategy, emotions removed. But one memory, one piece, I kept. You." Liam blinked. "You asked them to keep." "Me? Yes," she said. "I remembered the look on your face when you reached for me. And I remembered the way you didn't run away." She turned back to him. "But I'm not the same anymore. I'm a leader now. A weapon. Some call me the Blade Queen. Others call me traitor." "I don't care what they call you," Liam said, his voice quiet. "You're still Salari." For a second, her eyes softened, just a little. Then she said, "You must pass the trial." Liam frowned. "What trial?" "2. Stand beside me," she said. "You must prove you still have the courage I saw that day. You must face pain, fear, and truth." "This isn't a game," Liam said. "No," she replied, her eyes sharp again. "It's war." Before Liam could ask anything more, the door opened behind them. A tall alien male in black stepped forward. His face was covered by a mask. "It's time," he said. Salari looked at Liam one last time. "Don't run from this. You were chosen." And then she walked away. Liam stood in a dark chamber. The lights above flickered. 2 guards waited behind him. In front of him, a gate opened, revealing a tunnel with fire and smoke inside. A voice spoke from the wall. "Trial of fire begins. No weapons. No escape. Only forward." Liam took a breath. He didn't know what waited ahead. But Salari had come back. She remembered him. And she still believed in something he didn't understand. Maybe. That was enough. He stepped into the tunnel. Heat surrounded him. Flames burst from the walls. Platforms shifted under his feet. It was like walking inside a volcano built by mad engineers. He ducked, rolled, jumped. Sparks bit into his skin. Smoke choked his lungs. His hands bled as he climbed metal rungs. Over lava pits, he was tired, But he kept going, because Solari was watching. Somewhere behind the walls. Somewhere above. Judging. Finally, after what felt like forever, he reached a platform that rose up with a mechanical growl. It lifted him into a cold room where Solari stood waiting. She looked at him silently, then stepped forward and touched his arm. "You didn't quit." "No," he said, breathing hard. "I don't quit. You still remember me. I never stopped." Her hand slid away. Her voice was low. "Then maybe I was right." Liam didn't understand everything yet, but he knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Liam lay on the cold metal floor, chest heaving, sweat pouring down his face. His arms were scraped, his legs burned, and his heart felt like it might burst. He had made it through the fire tunnel. Barely. And now she stood before him, Solari, the alien girl who once whispered, "I'll marry you one day." But now there was no softness in her voice. No promise in her eyes. Only silence. She stared at him for a long time, then turned to a small device on her wrist. With a wave of her fingers, a hologram appeared above them. It showed Liam's run through the trial, every fall, every climb, every close escape from fire. "You're slower than I expected," she said flatly. Liam looked up at her, tired but steady. It wasn't exactly a friendly welcome. Solari didn't smile, but her golden eyes narrowed, studying him. "You're human, weak compared to our warriors. But you didn't give up." "I didn't come this far to stop now," Liam said. She paused. "Then your next trial begins now." "What? Wait, what next trial?" The floor below him shook suddenly. The room darkened. Metal plates shifted and sank. A new platform rose round, and surrounded by glass walls. Strange shapes moved inside the glass. "Step in," Solari ordered. Liam didn't move. Solari stepped close. "If you hesitate, you fail." He clenched his jaw, stood, and stepped onto the platform. The glass walls lit up. He saw them, beasts. Not real, but projections. Training simulations. Creatures from different worlds, all designed to kill. One had claws longer than swords. Another had eyes that hypnotized prey. The last was silent, shadow-like, and fast. A voice echoed overhead. "Survive for 10 minutes. Use only your body. No weapons. No shields." Liam felt fear crawl into his chest. But then he saw Solari. She was watching again, from above this time. Behind a control panel. This was her test. He wasn't just proving his strength. He was proving his worth. The first creature charged a giant insect with blade-like legs. Liam rolled under it and ran to the edge. The second creature appeared on his left, spitting blue acid. He ducked behind a pillar just in time. The acid burned through the floor where he had stood seconds ago. He coughed, sweating more, his legs trembling. Minutes passed. He fought with everything he had: his mind, his speed, his instincts. He used the walls to climb, flipped to dodge, even faked being down to trick the shadow beast. Finally, the timer rang. Everything froze. The beasts vanished. The glass walls opened. Liam dropped to his knees. Solari walked in slowly. He looked up at her, blood on his chin, dirt across his face. "Still think I'm weak?" For a moment, she said nothing. Then she walked to him, knelt down, and gently wiped the blood from his cheek with her gloved hand. "I think," she said softly, "you might still be the boy who gave me hope." Liam frowned. "What do you mean?" She sat beside him. "I was trained to feel nothing, no fear, no love, no doubt. But the day I met you, I felt all of those things at once." Liam looked at her carefully. "Why me?" Solari looked away, her voice distant. "Because I was alone. I was being prepared for war. I had no choice, no voice, just orders. But then I saw you, afraid, small, human, and yet you reached for me, even when the world around us was burning. That one moment made me want to remember something good." "And now?" Liam asked. Now I'm not sure what I am, she whispered. Half warrior, half memory. I don't belong anywhere. You belong with me, Liam said, surprising. Even himself. She turned to him quickly. Why would you say that? Because I still remember the rain. Your face, that promise. You came back after 6 years, and you still remembered too. For a moment, the cold look in her eyes melted. She looked sad. No one's ever said that to me, she whispered. Liam sat up straighter. Then maybe you need someone who isn't trying to control you, someone who just sees you. Solari stood. Her voice became firm again. Rest now. You passed the trial. The next test will be harder. Harder than that? Liam groaned. Solari glanced back at him as she walked away. Her last words echoed in the room. This time, the trial is truth. And then she was gone. Liam lay back against the wall, his body aching but his mind spinning. What truth? And what was Solari really preparing him for? Whatever it was, he was starting to understand this was more than just tests. This was war, politics, and something deeply personal. This was love. Trying to survive in a galaxy that had forgotten what love even meant. The next morning, Liam woke up in a medical pod. His body ached all over, but the burns and cuts were gone. The machine had healed him, but his heart still felt heavy. He kept hearing her last words. The next test is truth. But what truth? A soft chime sounded, and the pod opened. A gentle mist rolled out. Liam sat up, breathing slowly, then looked around the room. It was quiet, too quiet. No guards. No alarms. Just her say Lari. She stood near the far wall, dressed in a dark silver cloak now, her armor hidden underneath. She held something in her hands. It looked like a glass cube, glowing faintly with blue light. Inside the cube were strange DNA patterns spinning slowly. Without a word, she walked over and placed it in Liam's hands. What is this? He asked. Your blood, she said softly. And mine. Liam blinked, confused. What? Why would you have? She sat across from him, crossing her legs like a student about to confess a secret. 6 years ago, when I pulled you from the fire, your blood was on my hands. I didn't wipe it away. I brought it back. My creators used it. Liam felt cold all of a sudden. You mean, you used my DNA? Yes, she said. I'm not just Solari, the soldier. I'm something new. A hybrid built from many species, but one part of me is you. Liam's breath caught in his chest. You're saying, I helped make you? She nodded once. Not by choice, but by fate. Liam stared down at the cube, his hands shaking. This is insane. Solari stood and walked to the window. They wanted someone loyal, someone who could understand humans. They took my memory of you, and said, let us build her around this. He walked up beside her, still clutching the cube. So all of this, the trials, the tests, was that you trying to see if I was worthy? Or you trying to see if you were still you? Solari looked up at him. Both. They stood in silence. The stars outside burned bright over the dead surface of the moon they were on. It was peaceful, but cold, like her life. I kept hearing your voice in my mind, she said, almost whispering. I kept seeing your eyes. In my dreams, I didn't understand it until later. They told me it was just chemical memory, a side effect. Liam looked at her. But it wasn't, was it? No, she said. It was hope. She finally turned to him. I'm not supposed to feel this. I'm not supposed to remember who I was. But every time I looked at this pendant, she pulled a chain from under her cloak. Hanging from. It was the glowing token she had once dropped at Liam's feet. I remembered the rain, the fire, and you. Liam smiled weakly. I still have mine too. You kept it? She asked, her voice shaking. Every day, he said. Her golden eyes glistened, just for a second. Then she looked away again. There's more, she said. The reason I asked you here, The real reason isn't just for memory. Or even love. Liam's chest tightened. Then what is it? I'm being forced into a decision, she said. The High Council wants to end the peace project. They want war. They believe humans are too soft, too unpredictable. And you're supposed to lead that war? She nodded slowly. Yes, unless I give them another option, which is. Solari stepped closer, her face serious now. They told me I could avoid the war if I chose a mate. One who represents balance, one who proves humans are not weak. Liam's heart skipped. You mean, me? Yes, she whispered. But only if I believe you're strong enough. He stepped back. So all of this has been some kind of marriage test? No, she said, shaking her head. This has been my fight to stay myself. The girl I was. The one who made that promise. In the rain. And what if I fail the next trial? Liam asked. Then the council will force a bond with one of their generals, she said. A monster with no heart. And I will become something else entirely. Liam stared at her. Then I won't let that happen. You say that now, she said, stepping close. But the next trial isn't a fight or a puzzle. It's something much harder. What is it? Truth, she said again. You must see what I've become and decide if you can still love me. She reached for his hand. He didn't pull away. Because I am part you, she said. And I am part something much darker. Liam held her hand tightly. Then let me see everything. She nodded, her voice just above a whisper. Follow me. To the memory chamber. The memory chamber was nothing like Liam had imagined. It was deep underground, built inside the base's oldest section. The walls were dark stone, not metal. The air smelled like cold dust. Blue lights floated in the air like fireflies, flickering around Solari as she walked ahead. Liam followed in silence, heart pounding in his chest. They reached a wide round room. In the center stood a glowing platform with strange symbols carved into it. Solari stepped onto it and motioned for Liam to do the same. This will show you my truth, she said quietly. Not just memories, but feelings. Things I've hidden, even from myself. Liam stepped beside her. The platform pulsed once. A beam of light shot upward, and suddenly, the room was gone. Liam stood in a battlefield, gray skies, fallen towers, alien machines broken and burning. Soldiers screamed in the distance. And in the center of it all, Solari, younger, bloodier. She was fighting with two curved blades, spinning like a storm. Her enemies weren't human. They were larger, armored, brutal, but she cut through them like a ghost. No mercy, no fear. The vision changed. Solari stood before a council. Alien voices argued. She didn't speak. She only knelt, eyes empty. One counselor leaned forward and said, "You belong to us now. Emotions are over. Love is weakness." Liam felt his fists clench. The Solari in the memory looked so broken. Then came the moment she had told him about, when they gave her the choice: marry a general, or choose peace through bonding with someone unexpected. The vision flickered. Now Liam saw Solari standing in her quarters, alone, holding the glowing pendant. I remember his eyes, she whispered to herself in the memory. He looked at me, like I was more than a weapon. And finally, the memory faded. Liam was back in the chamber, but Solari wasn't on the platform. She was on the ground, blood running down her shoulder. "Solari!" Liam shouted, dropping beside her. She was shaking. Her armor had been pierced by a blade, thin, sharp, and poisoned. Liam looked up. The lights in the chamber were flickering. Footsteps echoed in the darkness. Someone had attacked her, and now they were coming back. From the shadows stepped a tall alien with silver skin and deep red eyes. He wore ceremonial armor and carried a long needle blade still wet with Solari's blood. "You ruined everything," the assassin said, voice low and cold. "She was ours. She was built for war. You gave her Humanity. Liam stood protectively in front of Solari. Who are you? The one who was promised her hand, the assassin sneered. But she chose you, a soft, foolish human. He raised the blade. Before he could strike, Liam reached for a fallen spear from the wall. His body screamed in pain, but he charged. Forward anyway. The assassin was fast, but Liam had fire in his chest. He fought not for glory, not for pride. He fought for the girl who once whispered a promise in the rain. Their weapons clashed. The chamber echoed with steel and breath and fury. Liam ducked, dodged, and finally drove the spear into the assassin's side. The alien gasped, then fell back with a thud. Liam rushed back to Solari. She was pale now, her breaths shallow. Saved me, she whispered. No, Liam said, gripping her hand tightly. You saved me first. I'm just returning the favor. Her lips curved slightly. The council will never forgive this. I don't care about the council, he said. I care about you. Her eyes fluttered. They'll come for you. For both of us. Then we run, Liam said. Together. Solari squeezed his hand weakly. There's an escape plan, old tunnels. I kept them hidden, just in case, Liam nodded. Tell me where. Her fingers pointed toward a wall panel. Behind it. There's a door. Leads to the surface, then to the wreckage fields. I hid a ship there, unregistered. You planned this? He asked, shocked. I hoped I wouldn't need it, she whispered. But I always prepare for war. Liam gently lifted her. Let's make it a plan for peace instead. The lights above flickered red. Alarms began to ring far away. They were already being hunted. But Liam didn't care. Solari wasn't a weapon. Any more. She wasn't a tool of war or a creation of cold. Science. She was a girl who chose to remember. A girl who fought to be something more. And he would fight for her, no matter what came next. The alarm echoed through the base like a scream in a cave. Red lights flashed across the walls. Security drones buzzed to life. Voices shouted in 3 different languages over the speakers. But Liam didn't stop. He carried Solari in his arms, her blood still warm against his side. Her breath slow but steady. Almost there, he whispered. More to himself than to her. He reached the wall panel she had pointed at. It looked like any other part of the smooth steel wall, but as he pressed her pendant against a hidden spot, a small section slid open with a soft hiss. Behind it was a narrow tunnel, dark and dusty. Liam ducked inside quickly. The door shut behind him. Silenced. He took a breath. Then another. Solari stirred weakly. You found it? Yeah, he said, adjusting her weight gently. But now tell me, how far does this tunnel go? She managed. A small smile. Far enough. Liam kept walking, his boots crunching on metal dust. The tunnel curved downward, then sloped up again, like an old maintenance shaft long forgotten. As they moved, he noticed ancient writing on the walls, warnings. Dates, even old human military symbols. Is this tunnel pre-Union? He asked. Lar. I nodded slowly. From the first contact wars, they built escape routes in case peace failed. And now we're using one, Liam muttered. Like history repeating itself. After what felt like an hour, they reached a sealed hatch. Solari touched the panel beside it with her thumb. The door creaked, then opened into cold air and night sky. Liam stepped out and saw the wreckage fields. Endless hills of broken machines. Old ships, scrap towers, and skeletons. Of war. It looked like a graveyard of lost futures. But somewhere out there, Solari said, was their chance to escape. He laid her down gently behind a metal wall. Stay here. I'll find the ship. No, she whispered, grabbing his hand. You'll get lost. I hit it near the spine ridge. Looks like junk. But the inside is clean. I'll find it, Liam promised. He wrapped his jacket around her, then ran into the field. The ground was uneven, filled with old traps, rusted wires, and the twisted remains of past battles. He moved carefully, remembering Solari's words. It looks like junk, but it's clean inside. He scanned for anything unusual, and then he saw it. A half-buried cruiser with its nose in the dirt, covered in sand and wire mesh. Liam climbed up, wiped the dust off a small panel, and found the seal. The inside lit up when he pressed the pendant into a port dot. It was clean, new, quiet. He smiled. This will do. 10 minutes later, he was lifting Solari inside. The ship hummed softly as it powered on. Solari opened her eyes again, looking stronger now. You did it, she said. I'm getting used to surprises, Liam replied, helping her into the co-pilot seat. Solari looked at him for a long moment. They'll come after us. Let them, he said. This means you can't go back, she warned. Back to what? Liam asked. To a desk job and lies? No, this is real. Solari leaned back in her seat. Then you should know. There's one more truth. Liam turned. What now? Solari tapped a screen, and a hologram appeared of the council chamber. The footage showed her arguing with the generals. One of them slammed his hand down. If the hybrid refuses the general, she dies, that is the law. Another voice added, and the human too. We do not allow weakness to spread. Liam's face hardened. So it's not just about running, he said. It's about survival. Solari nodded. We either vanish forever or fight back. Liam looked out the ship window at the stars. Do we have allies? Some, she said, but they'll be watching, waiting. If we show we're not broken, maybe they'll join us. He smiled faintly. So what now, Blade Queen? She raised an eyebrow. You still call me that? You've earned it, he said. But you're also the girl who made a promise in the rain. Solari looked at him, truly looked. Then she touched her hand to his cheek. Do you still want that promise to come true? He leaned closer. More than anything. She pressed her forehead to his. Then fly. He took the controls. The ship lifted from the wreckage quietly, sliding into the sky like a ghost reborn. Behind them, drones swarmed the base, but it was too late. They were gone. Above them, space opened like a wide road. A path for the lost. A future not written by war, but by choice. 3 months later, Earth had changed since Liam last walked its soil. The skies were quieter now. The cities had rebuilt. But Liam didn't come back to see the cities. He came for the quiet hills, places where no one asked questions, where the stars still looked like they did on the night she first vanished. He lived on the edge of an old forest, in a simple stone cottage, far from politics, far from war. Every day he watched the skies. Every night he remembered her voice. Wait for me on Earth. He had, and he would wait a lifetime if he had to. The world called him a traitor. The council had declared him an enemy of peace. But Liam knew the truth. They feared her. They feared what Solari had become, not a weapon, not a slave, but a woman who chose love over power. Some nights, Liam would sit near the fire and whisper to the pendant she gave him, hoping somehow she'd hear him. He never told anyone where he was. He didn't need help. He needed her. And then one evening, as the wind turned warm and the sky glowed orange, he heard it. A sound like thunder. Soft, but steady. He stepped outside. Over the horizon, a ship appeared, low, sleek, silent as a falling leaf. His heart nearly stopped. It landed gently in the field, crushing wildflowers under its landing gear. The ramp opened, but no one stepped out right away. Liam walked toward it, legs shaking. Then she appeared. Say LAR. Her hair was tied back, her armor gone. She wore a soft tunic, part alien, part human, and her golden eyes were the same. But there was something new in them now. Peace. She stepped off the ramp, her boots quiet against the grass. Liam walked forward until they stood face to face. No guards, no weapons, no war. Just them, You came back, Liam said, his voice barely a whisper. I told you I would, she said. You always believed me. He smiled, his eyes stinging. What happened? Solari took his hand and placed it on her heart. We made a choice. The council fell into argument. Some wanted my death. Others saw truth in what we did. But while they fought, I disappeared. With help? He asked. With allies, she replied. Aliens who were tired of old rules. Warriors who wanted something real. And a few humans who still believed in peace. Liam held her tightly. I was so afraid they got you. They tried, she said softly. But they underestimated the one thing they could never control. What's that? My heart, she said. And the memory of a boy who gave me hope. He laughed through the tears. You said you'd marry me one day. And I still will, she said, stepping closer. If you'll have me not as a soldier, not as a weapon. Just as me. I've only ever wanted you, Liam said. She smiled, a real one. Warm and soft. I brought something, she added. From her pouch, she pulled out a small glowing box. Inside was a pair of rings, one human style, one alien made. They shimmered. Like starlight. Liam stared at them, speechless. I found a priest, Solari continued. From both our kinds, he waits nearby. Now? Liam asked. Right now, she said. Unless you changed your mind. He stepped forward, lifted her chin, and whispered, Not even in 1,000 lifetimes. They walked back to the ship together. In a small sacred space inside, lit with blue candles and soft starlight projections, two ancient beings waited, one human elder and one alien speaker. They said no grand words, no politics, just a simple vow. And when Solari placed the ring on Liam's hand, she said again, I told you I'd marry you one day. And this time, she didn't vanish. This time, she stayed. Years passed. Some still called them fugitives. Some said their love started a rebellion. Others said it was the first step to real peace. But none of that mattered to them. They lived where no one could command them. They raised a family of both blood and bond, alien and human. And in the galaxy that had once forced her into silence, their love became a story whispered by many. Not a story of war, but of a promise made in the rain. That came true under the stars. The end.